So let's talk a little bit about this thing right here.
Oh my gosh.
Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong, the Warner Brothers and legendary action film, is expected to draw the largest weekend crowds to movie theaters since the start of the COVID-19 panorama. More than a
Rightfully
year,
so.
which happened more than a year ago. So good for that movie. The monster movie could bring in ticket sales of about 22 million between Friday and Sunday, and as much as 38 million over the extended Good Friday holiday weekend. Like we said right before we started broadcasting today, that Jesus is coming back, and Jesus is confirmed to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic
Yes,
Universe.
Queen.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that, Jesus. Box Office Pro estimated on Wednesday all of that information. It had already generated almost 10 million in domestic ticket sales when its opening when it opened on late Wednesday. So far, the biggest movie-going night since the Panini started a year ago. I think we all saw this movie, right?
Yes.
I liked it because like it was so
It's fun, man.
it's so
fun.
over the top and it's so ridiculous. Like, look at this picture.
I mean, that's the thing.
If
you first of all, like, props to movie theaters, because this should be the movie you see in the movie theaters. This isn't the one that you like, rent as a home DVD. I watched it at home with my surround sound system at 3:00 in the morning, and my neighbors probably were super happy about that. But the entire time I was watching it, I was like, this is the IMAX 3D movie that you want to go see. Like,
I really wish I saw this in the movie theater. I like it. We have Jared back. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Jared.
How embarrassing.
Oh no, here's the thing, Jared, just so you know, while you were gone, that was our highest rated segment that we've ever done. It's not even premiered yet.
My house is so crazy with the internet. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Okay. No, you're fine. We're fine. We're just talking a little bit about Godzilla vs. Kong and how it became the highest grossing movie of the
all time.
Pandemonium
beat Avengers Endgame and
Avatar. Yeah, if you didn't know, what's her face plays Godzilla. What's the woman that was in both
Scarlett
Avatar?
Johansson.
No, that was in my future wife.
Oh, Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana. She plays
Scarlett Johansson's Godzilla. Got it.
Yes,
and then
yes.
Zoe Saldana is King Kong.
She's fantastic. Did the motion capture.
I
really like this movie. I really wish I did see it in a movie theater, as opposed to watching it on my TV. I mean, there was nothing wrong with watching it on my TV, but the big brassy like movie score, the big special effects, it was so over the top. And I saw somebody wrote online, they're like, this movie didn't make any sense. It made no sense. Like, how did one person get from this end of the planet to that end of the planet so fast? I'm like, that was the ridiculous part, not the giant lizard with laser breath fighting a giant gorilla with a laser axe. That wasn't the ridiculous part.
The lizard shooting a laser into the center of the earth, and it literally just went all the way down. Okay, cool, girl.
It's like
I described it.
Is real quick, Jackie. It was like when people were complaining during Jurassic World that Bryce Dallas Howard was running in heels. They're like, that is not believable. And it's like, you're watching a movie about dinosaurs. In like, 2021. What were you saying, Jackie?
I described it as scrumptious garbage to people, where they're just 100%. Like, I was explaining. I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. This is the longest Daft Punk music video I've ever seen. And they were just like, one of my friends was just like, oh no, we're about to watch that right now. I was like, surely you didn't get here. Surely you didn't turn on a movie called Godzilla versus King Kong and expect character development, plot, and all that stuff. Just accept the visual drugs that it is.
Yes.
And turn your brain on.
Yes.
And that's like the thing is, I feel like movies don't always have to be like Sophie's Choice. You know what I mean? Like, it's like every once in a while we can just have like, listen, if the graphics were bad, if like all of like the computer animation was bad, I would be like, okay, but like the movie looked great. It was filled with like action. For me, like I think it's like fun to kind of just escape every once in a while, and I think that it was very much that for me. Like by the end, Charlie and I were so into it. And at the end, Charlie's like, I don't know who I want to win. I was like, obviously King Kong. I'm like, obviously King Kong.
Well, in this movie, they were obviously for like 90% of the movie, Godzilla was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like I'm sitting here, I'm like, Godzilla's a dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a dick.
Oh, For me, like I said this in our chat, but I'm like, wow, they really destroyed that city in the end. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, they messed that city up.
I mean, go ahead, Jared. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. Like what I was saying in the chat is like, and then even like when they're recovering, like they like knock King Kong down and he gets up and knocks the building down at one point. And I'm like, damn, like you think you're out of the woods. Like you think it's over. Like the fight is done. And then King Kong knocks you out just like catching his breath. Like that's rough.
This is why I live in the suburbs, because there's no Kong, battle. There's no aliens coming from the sky shooting a blue beam into space in Haddon Heights, New Jersey.
But that's the thing. Watching this movie, that was the thing that I talked about. I was like, wow, we think that we have anxiety and depression running rampant in our society now. If this is a reality, everybody would be like, what is the point? There could be gigantic monsters falling from the sky or coming up from the ground at any moment. There's no point.
Well, that's the funny part, because you're absolutely right. Like, I feel like if something crazy like that were to happen, like at this point in our lives, we'd be like, oh, well, sounds about right.
2021, girl. What can we do?
I was mad at Godzilla for a little bit. I was just like, wow, he's being a douche. And then Millie Bobby Brown was just like, oh, they're trying to replace him. And it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't agree with him, but I understand this level of petty.
See, if I can make one like assessment, because here's the thing. I said this in the chat. Big monster go boom, watch, rinse, repeat. That's the movie. For anyone out there,
absolutely.
No spoilers, because the trailer told you everything you needed to know. If you think that you're gonna go into this expecting some type of Oscar-worthy like twist,
you shouldn't be watching a movie called Kong vs. Godzilla.
Exactly. You know what you're going to see.
Right.
But the entire time that I was watching them fight and their story, I was living for it. But I was so bored with the human element. I was like, girl, take the human. I don't care. Take them out. We don't need it.
Yes.
I don't care.
That's John, to be honest, that's the problem with most major movies like that, because I remember having a similar thought about the original, well, not the original, but the Godzilla from a couple years ago, which I loved. By the way, I loved that Godzilla. I loved the Godzilla, the first one, and because this Godzilla, this iteration of Godzilla, this is the third time we've seen him. And then any other big major monster movie where they smash buildings, like any kind of like kaiju type of thing, like that's the issue. I don't care. Like I love Millie Bobby Brown. I don't care. I don't care.
Exactly. That was exactly my entire thing. I was like, okay.
Go back to smashing buildings, please.
Like the entire time, and the movie was 2 hours, and I was like, oh, that's fine. And it felt long because of the human element,
Honestly, do you know what monster movie though? Like, I don't mind. That's kind of character in Smash. Is that first Godzilla that came out in like 2000 when she's like a lady? Oh, it's like a lady lizard.
Oh,
and,
no.
Lays the babies. That movie I like in that way, because it's almost so bad.
Are you talking about the one with Matthew Broderick?
Broderick?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that movie, and Hank Azaria. No, I remember that movie. Baby. I remember. And
we're usually so like-minded. Why?
They laid eggs in Madison Square Garden.
Because that movie reminds me of like it's so ridiculous. Like this movie, I agree that like when we're seeing Millie Bobby Brown, like I don't care about it. But in that movie, I'm like, oh, I think it's ridiculous that they're following these people around and what they're doing when I don't think it's like cinematic masterpiece, don't get me wrong, but I like it for like what it is. Whereas in this movie, I'm like, let's just see the monsters the whole time. Like if I don't have Hank Azaria or like Matthew Broderick, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I like that movie because I'm like, you seriously have like Matthew Broderick chasing Godzilla like that, like Ferris Bueller.
In your defense, Jared, I'm actually with you. I remember when that movie came out in what, 95, 96?
No, I think it's like 99.
99.
Like
oh Jesus
right
Christ!
Before,
so
right
I was 12. I was 12 years old at that point, and I remember going to see that movie in the movie theater and being frightened frightened. Like, because at the time, like, I wasn't going to see movies because they were Oscar worthy. I knew nothing about the Oscars. I just knew that there was a big monster, and it laid eggs in Madison Square Garden, a place that I had been to.
Yeah, literally. But I love anything that's like that kind of like a monster. Like I love like Cloverfield or like
Cloverfield's great.
Yeah.
I like Cloverfield Lane. Oh my god.
Yes, that was. Oh my god.
For me, like
Cloverfield.
So I think this movie, like my only issue with it is, first of all, I view it very similar. Y'all are gonna laugh at this, but I view it very similarly to the way I view Wonder Woman 1984. I did not go into it expecting to be like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Sure. I looked at it and I was like, all right, it is what it is, and I like it for what it is. But if I had one criticism, I would have either wanted more understanding what any of these characters, because I didn't care about any of them except for Iron Man's ex-girlfriend. She's the only one I cared about. And more monsters. That's, you know what I mean? Like, either focus on just let me watch them fight for 2 hours, or let me understand what's happening with Iron Man's girlfriend, because I don't get it.
Wait, who was Iron Man's girlfriend?
Are you tripping?
I don't know what her character's name was. She was opposite. She was opposite Alexander Skarsgård.
Eric Northman.
Wait,
the
one with the daughter?
The one, no, not daughter.
She was
in little girl.
She was in Iron Man 3.
She's in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the woman that was speaking sign language? Are you talking about the one that died?
Yeah, her. Yeah.
That's Iron Man 3.
She's in Iron Man 3.
Is she
really?
She
has like a huge arc in Iron Man 3.
Oh.
This is why you need to watch movies more than once, Kyrus.
I can't do it.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember her at all. That shows how much I thought about
She's
Iron
like
Man 3.
She's the one at the end. Here, spoilers for Iron Man 3 if you've been living under a rock. She's like the one at the end that's like working with Killian. And it turns out that like she gets blown up in the house with Pepper and Iron Man.
Okay. I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was her. I haven't seen Iron Man 3 since I watched it in the movie theater.
I probably watched it like literally last week, to be honest.
Last week?
Yeah, I like, for me, like, you know how people put mindless TV on? I'll just like put the Marvel movies on. Like if I'm cleaning the house or something, I'll just like put them on.
That's fair.